The internet didn't want us to tell the truth about the DDS and the DF.
Yes.
Just because your friend said she saw me in a club with some other bitches.
Okay. We are. I think we are. Yeah, we're live. All right, cool. We're back now.
Chilling in VIP, smoking and drinking and kicking it.
Is this R. Kelly?
Tell me, girl. So we were discussing Andrew Wiltse and his campaign this year at the No Gi Pans, resulting in a silver medal, which he was celebrating with the phrase, I won the silver. And I was contrasting that with what I know of the Danaher Death Squad, saying that when those dudes fail to submit a guy, they behave as if they have lost. Where you did lose, Mr. Wiltse, and you're smiling and flexing, and I think both of these motherfuckers are correct. Like, I think both paths are correct. I think the way that both sides of this train, they train like hard motherfuckers.
Yeah.
7 days a week for the Death Squad on a fucked up set of wrestling mats that are pushed together that don't even match on the concrete with no motherfucking heat or hot water is the Daisy Fresh Click. If you don't have respect for these two paths as hard motherfucking paths, then I don't have respect for you. Like, Jesus H, these motherfuckers are the definition of hard charging. And so I think as long as you're a hard charging motherfucker, you can interpret however you need to make sure you remain that way.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're like, yo, I won the silver, and that's going to continue to help you to charge hard the next time and make you train hard, and even if you're not thinking like, oh, I should have done this to get the gold, or maybe you are, and you're going to do both. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to celebrate in the moment where you can't fix it. They're giving you a medal. Why pout about it? A lot of motherfuckers aren't going to get a medal today. But another school of thought is, this is not the medal I came here for. Neither of these approaches are wrong. And then that just makes me fucking curious. Like, what is your approach? Like, not necessarily to jiu-jitsu, but like it could be open to like life in general. Like, do you win first place? Can you win second place is the real question. Can you win second place? Is that a thing?
Asking me that question.
Yes.
So I think honestly my thing is like it doesn't really matter if it's first or second. I mean, obviously you want it to be first place. Obviously you want it to be a medal, period. But I think is like if you can be satisfied with yourself competing, I think that's the obvious thing. It's like that's like the PC answer.
No, I want to know your answer.
The real answer is like I don't know. It just depends. Honestly, it really just depends. Like some days it could just be like that thing matters so much to me in that moment, and then and it's like, oh, maybe I didn't do that thing so hard. But I guess I don't know. It really just depends. Sometimes it's like, oh my god, this thing sucked. Like if you lose to a shitty person, then yeah, I feel bad. If I lose to a person that's really good, I don't feel so bad about it. Basically, that's how I feel about it. If I lose to a shitty person or to a shitty move, then I feel really bad. Like I feel like oh yeah, I'm a definite loser. Yeah. But if I lose to a guy that's way better than me, it's like, oh, like I just not as good as you. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fair. Like there's gonna be guys way better than me. But if I can't beat you at what I know already, that's fucked.
I mean, I have losses that like I don't want to say that they haunt me because that's not 100% accurate. But like there are people who I've beaten like a cajillion times who have like all win over me.
Yeah.
And I hate those wins. Like I hate those matches. Like a lot.
Yeah. But you know you can say though, is like in like the simulation world, it's like they'd be like, out of 1,000 matches, you win like 999 of them or 998 or whatever it is. It's like in that mind you could just be like that accounts for like if you ever were drunk or hungover. And so like that's just you gotta think about it as like, oh man, that means you probably got me when I was either hungover or drunk. That's what you should that's just what you think about.
Oh, that might be true, Anthony. That doesn't mean because like I All right, let's keep it real. I was also drunk and hungover when I whooped their ass half those times too.
Yeah,
How about
that's true.
that? So like, it doesn't work as an excuse if I was able to be successful with the same barriers, those same self-imposed barriers. And right now, I don't know if you can tell, but I got my thumb like deep in my hip flexor. Like something is going on that we will not stop the podcast for. But it's a good thing I'm laying on mats and there's a so right close by. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I end up laying on that thing like hips down and just adjust the camera so that it doesn't look like I'm doing anything super weird. Like you know that Michael Jackson video, The Way You Make Me Feel?
Yeah.
You know that moment where he's like laying on his belly? They're all like, they do the dance breakdown
Yeah.
and they're all laying on their bellies and they hump the ground. That's what the so right looks like when you get like it just looks like you're in that video. I'm not gonna do it, Anthony. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. I'm not gonna do it. Do I want to do it?
Of course you do. Of course.
No.
Yeah. He's like, yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know it's wrong.
Well,
That's for a different. That's for a different version. That's for the Pornhub version.
I'm not here version.
What?
So just one that I'm not here version.
Oh
See that version. Oh man.
shit.
All right. MMA nonsense.
Yes.
News and nonsense. I did not watch the MMA fights, the UFCs, because I am a dirty casual. So I will pretend like I did and lie to the audience. Let's break this down. So, where do we want to start from? You want to start from the KGB?
Honestly, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. But let's start from the fact that they had a fucking event. Period.
Yeah.
That the first thing I see when I turn on the UFC prelims, and I'm not a guy who has a lot of an opinion on this pandemic, because I try to default to experts when it comes to things like this. Like, I'm not an expert in medicine or in pandemics. And so I try not to form too tightly held of an opinion.
Right.
But it was nice and slightly uncomfortable to turn on the TV and see that many people very, very close together with no masks.
Right.
And I don't know what that means. I'm not saying that, like, I think they should have been wearing masks or I think they should have been socially distanced. I'm literally saying it felt really good to see people sitting close together with no motherfucking masks on, like life was normal. But it also, that image made me slightly apprehensive. I was like, oh man, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people there.
So I'm just being honest with how it made me feel, right? I had a little bit of conflict there. And I looked at the numbers afterwards. There were 16,000 people in attendance. 16,000 people in one building. And very few of them wearing masks. No social distancing. Everybody doing whatever the fuck they wanted.
Yeah.
Ain't that America? Home of the free. It felt good in a way, man.
You know what I just realized?
What?
Is that the UFC and ESPN value knockouts more than they do submissions. That's why they don't show you knockouts in the Twitter clips. They only show you the submissions.
They give me these pesky submissions for free.
Yeah, they do. Like you can watch the whole sequence. When you see a knockout on ESPN, like Twitter, you just see the guy getting up. And it's like
they're like, yo, if you want to see this fucking knuckle hit him in the spit fly, that's gonna cost you that ESPN Plus subscription on the least bit.
But we give we give you girls between each other's legs for free.
Whoa.
Hey, that's not what happened, right?
That is what happened.
Yeah.
So I believe you're referring to Andrea Lee, KGB, putting Shevchenko's little sister in a triangle forever. And bludgeoning her and then hyperextending her arm in a very, very nasty way. Now, I was having a lot of conflict when I'm watching this triangle.
Yeah.
Dude, I was worried if you don't finish somebody after like a minute or so in a position,
Mm-hmm.
the question is, are you now burning your legs to the point where you're causing yourself duress? Are you now going to be at a disadvantage because you tried to finish this person so desperately with so much of your strength and so much of your energy? And when I started noticing how loosely she was holding the triangle with her feet in a way, like there was a lot of space,
Right.
as if Shevchenko had like a narrow neck or something like that. Like when you put a triangle on somebody and you feel like, man, why is there so much fucking space in here? And your angle's not bad. It's like their body type is weird to do the choke on.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I felt like that's what she was experiencing. And then she kept it. And then she did what I like. She pummeled the arm to the outside and started bringing these fucking elbows in there. She was bringing these elbows. And I was like, yes, fuck her up. And I didn't even realize that she's from Texas.
Really?
KGB Lee is from Texas.
That's hilarious.
So she's in front of like what she can perceive to be a hometown crowd trying to get this finish. And then it made me feel like, fuck, she's definitely going to burn her legs out. She's not going to pull this off. If we don't get out of this round, who knows what happens in round 3? But we didn't have to worry about that. Because right at the end of the round, she trapped the arm behind her lat. And like, so many women are hyper flexible. Would you agree with that in your experience?
I would definitely agree that a lot of women are hyper flexible, almost like nauseatingly flexible.
And let's discuss hyper flexibility to make sure that we all know what we are saying exactly. So my arm doesn't go straight, right? If it were to go beyond 180, anything beyond 180 is hyper flexible. The things that are not, like my arm, is hypo flexible. It does not go straight. But if I was to go past straight without breaking, it would be hyper flexible. And because so many women are hyper flexible in the shoulders and elbows especially, it's difficult to submit women with arm locks. But when you get it into the lat, when you get it behind, you get the wrist behind the lat.
The lat juji.
The lat juji, if you will, Mr. Donaher Mark. Yes, I'm also a Donaher Mark right now too. If you get the lat juji, you could see superior breaking pressure. Now, catastrophic arm breaks are possible if you can get the lat juji. And because of that, Andrea Lee had to tap out. And because of another lat juji, a jiu-jitsu legend, may be done fighting, in my opinion, man. Like, and I'm talking about Jacare now. I'm switching gears quickly.
Yeah.
But Jacare got caught in the transition where he had given up his back. And this guy, what was it, Munez? How do you say his name? This young man jumps Jaka's back and starts to come off the back with a lat juji. And a sound that could be described as someone striking a baseball with a baseball bat occurred. It was a loud snapping sound, like a loud. And Jacare's arm broke mid-forearm, and the referee stopped the contest. And this isn't the first time that Jaka has had his arm broken in a notable contest.
Right.
But this time, he loses because the arm breaks. Because more than a decade ago, he had a catastrophic arm break in the absolute finals of the 2004 World Championships. He faced a young Harsha Gracie. And it wasn't the first time these motherfuckers had faced off. They faced off as brown belts for sure. They'd probably faced off before that. But that's not on my radar. The first time I saw their match, I was a white belt, and I was watching their brown belt campaign, and what a match that was. And then in 2004, Harsha snaps his arm in a closed guard arm lock, Jacare tucks his arm into his belt, like Al Bundy would tuck his hand in his pants
Mm-hmm.
and marry with children, and then continue to defend takedowns and win on points. Absolute world title with one arm. That's an incredible story.
It is. But
But the story didn't work out this
yeah,
time.
no. But let's talk about how legends are breaking. They're falling away. I mean, congratulations for Chris Weidman for starting to walk again slowly. But
That's great.
yeah, he's like on an anti-gravity treadmill. He started taking steps. But I'm like, hey guys, it might be time to just call it. Just say, hey, osteoporosis. So guys,
How dare you? It has nothing to do with osteoporosis, you son of a bitch. That's the weakening of bones due to old age, usually, or just poor nutrition.
yeah, like
But it's usually associated with old age. You age shaming fuck. How dare you? How old is Jacare? Could you look that up while I fucking shame you
sure.
for talking about old people like me? Look, dude, just because I need a walker to get around and my hair is thin as fuck on top, don't mean that with a 4 week camp I can't beat the fuck. Don't call us old, sir.
41.
Okay, okay. No, I'm kidding. Jaka's definitely up in age competitively, right?
Yeah.
But in the heavier weight classes, in 85, 205 heavyweight, it's not insanely rare to see someone in their early 40s competing at a top level.
Yeah.
Let's just point that out. Second of all, if you were to look at Jacare's physical body before his arm is broken, he doesn't look like he has the body of an aging fighter. He still looks young as fuck in the body. That dude's bodied up right now
Yeah.
with a fucking cast on. Like, if he doesn't train until he has until his arm is completely healed, if he were to sit around, I bet he would have a six pack the whole fucking time.
Probably.
Like, Jaka's a monster. But that being said, how many times can you have catastrophic injuries to your limbs and then compete in combat sport? And especially that kind of break. So we're not talking about a break at the joint. We're talking about a break in the middle of the arm. So when they put that thing together, is it stronger or is it weaker? I don't know.
As you get older, your bones get
But
hollower.
God damn it, Anthony. Oh man. And it was like he didn't quite have position, but he had enough of an isolation that you heard that sound that and I mean it was loud, dog. That sound was loud. Um I got a text from a good friend, my friend Christy texted me. And she was like, I just saw something that made me really sad. And I was like, oh no, because I had just gotten in the shower. I skipped this fight initially. I was like, all right, I'll jump in the shower. And when I come out, I'll catch this main card or whatever. I was certain that Jocko would win. I just thought he'd be okay. And then I come out of the shower and I see this text in my phone that's like, I'm super sad. And I'm like, all right, if a jiu-jitsu girl is super sad, that means Jocko got fucked.
Yeah.
Jocko got pumped. And so I need to go see. And it wasn't what I saw, it was what I heard. When I heard that sound, I was like, fuck, that could be the end of a career of someone who's really one of my heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jacare was one of my early heroes. Like when you first started jiu-jitsu or when you first started paying attention to the sport, did you have like someone that you were like, oh, I could pattern myself a little bit after that, or I like that move, I'm gonna steal that shit?
Jeff Glover. That was my person.
Boom.
Yeah, that was my person.
Hell yes.
It's just hilarious because I'm like, well, I'm not the most inflexible. I'm just not as flexible as him.
Well, I hear you're more flexible than you were when I left you.
I've always been weirdly
I would not
flexible.
associate you with highly flexible like I would Jeff Glover. I'll say that.
I've always been weirdly flexible. It's just that, like, yeah, just I'm more flexible now, but yeah, not as flexible as before. Or yeah, but no, Jeff Glover was my person. I don't know why, but I was like, I like that guy.
Dude, Shaka Ray was my guy. Like, there's a north-south armbar series that I still teach to this day that I learned when I was out blue belt from Jacare's instructional, and then like won tournaments with that thing. I was like, all I did for like 6 months of 6 months of consistently competing,
Mm-hmm.
like probably competing. Like when I was a blue belt, I was just taking over the school, so I still had something to prove to myself. You know what I mean? Like, why do I get to tell people what to do?
Right.
I was like, I gotta go fucking mollywop everyone. And so I was doing that series, and it was Jacare's series. And now his arm gets snappy, snappy like he's Tim Sylvia.
Mm-hmm.
He's not Tim Sylvia. It was
No.
just a tough beat. You just caught a tough beat. That lat juji is dangerous.
Super dangerous.
Anytime you can get the lat, that wrist in the lat, you're in trouble, dog. Trouble. Um. So yeah, so that fight occurred. Bummed me the fuck out. But here's an interesting finish too. There was an interesting finish that's going viral, and I think people are gonna meme it and they're gonna say all kinds of dumb shit. And right now I'm talking about Burgos and Barbosa. Now, have you heard about this 5 second delayed knockout yet?
I have not.
Um, look at here's a good test. Just type in UFC, not UFC, just type in delayed knockout and see if it comes up. Um, I even did a teeny bit of research on this one. I sought out a video by the good doctor, Brian Suterer. I looked him up, and I wanted to know from like a medical perspective, like what exactly happened.
Yeah.
Because normally, when you clack somebody in the face enough to put them down, they go down right away. Or you can see the effects in their legs, like the legs will get all wobbly and shit.
Right.
You see it happen right away. And when I was a kid, people would reference pro wrestling and talk about delayed reactions from wrestlers, right? It's like I punch you, and then a second later you go, oh, you hit me, right? And it was like a joke, like WWF delayed reaction. It was like a joke that kids would say to each other when I was like 10 years old. And then that's essentially what it looks like in this case in real life. He gets cracked with a two-piece. He gets a left and then a right that comes over the top and hits him in the temple. And Shane Burgos is a fucking tough guy. He's a brawler of a fighter. Like, he's a tough guy. And so right away when he gets clipped, he kind of falls right back into his stance. And then a second later, his knees start to go and his feet look unsure and he starts to wobble backwards. And eventually he gets finished by Barbosa. And what Dr. Suterer was saying was like, yo, like it actually makes sense that concussions are often like they have a cascading effect was the phrase he used. So it's like it's not always the case that as soon as the thing that causes the concussive event happens that you see the result. Sometimes the concussive event is still kind of happening. Like his brain might still be kind of wobbling around in there. A number of things could be going on. But a delayed reaction is not that uncommon. It's just uncommon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Among common things, it's common. I mean, among the uncommon things, it is common, is what I meant to say. So, even though people are going to meme it, that's what they always do when, like, something kind of spectacular and strange happens. Like when Kevin Lee got rocked and he did the chicken dance for a second, right?
Yeah.
Those moments are always memeable. And hopefully no one has their feelings fucking hurt about it and they can just get up and fight another day.
I got one.
Shane Burgos is a spectacular fighter. What do you got for me?
So they're gonna be one where some chick's throwing the booty at him and he's like, oh shit, and he's gonna fall backwards.
You mean there will be one of those when you make it, Anthony?
I don't have enough time for that. That is wild though. Like that is like a good like 6-7 count.
Yeah.
Just him just standing there. And like his brain just shutting down, and like you could just see like, and it's weird because you see the stance get smaller and smaller.
Right. His legs just start to fail him. Yeah. Right. And he got cracked in the temple. Yeah. And you know what's funny? I'm sure that someone out there, some fucking Cheeto fingered motherfucker, is like, see, that's proof that it's fake. He forgot to go down when they hit him, and then he had to like fucking act weird and fall down. It's because they had a bet, and it's all betting, it's all money, guys.
I
You
would
guys are just fucking sheep.
I would like to say that you are like like the Tommy Told like imagination of what like a fan is.
What do you mean?
Like you're like guys, guys, guess what? He forgot to fall down. He's like, that's why he's fake. Like I bet you that like literally like nobody says that. It's like,
I just made it up.
yeah,
I just hate fans. I think the worst of all MMA fans.
like
I just
literally,
sit around thinking about the shittiest thing they could possibly think, and be like, that's what they think.
that's what they think.
I don't mean to hate you, MMA fan.
Yeah,
I don't mean to hate you. I just do. I just don't trust you.
don't trust you.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't fucking hate the fans. I am the fans, bitch.
He's the fans.
Nigga, I is your fan.
Speaking for the fans, you got Mr. Tony Ferguson and Beneil Dariush.
Wait, fuck that. For the fans, let's talk about what Tony did for the fucking game. Let's talk about what Tony
Oh
Ferguson
yeah,
did for the boys in the back.
75K. He said, "Bump
Yes.
it, bump it, bump it, Dana, bump it."
Dana White privilege. And because he said Dana White privilege,
Mm,
he got Dana's attention.
yeah, he's like, "Oh,
He said, and when he told the story of why he bumped it up, he immediately gave credit to Tony Ferguson for calling him Dana White privilege, and said that was the funniest thing he'd ever heard. And the second best was Rampage Jackson. Do you know what Rampage used to call him?
what?"
Dana, it's good to be white. Tremendous.
Dana is good to be.
So what
right.
Tony does is he's like, yo, bump it up to 75K, Dana White privilege. And because he got Dana's attention on it, the boys and the girls in the back had a chance for $25,000 more for their fucking work
Yeah,
if they got a bonus.
that's true.
So shout out to crazy ass T Ferg for that.
Yeah,
Because people say a lot of weird things about Tony because Tony does a lot of weird things.
yeah. I was gonna say, just Tony's weird.
But he's a fucking workhorse who has to be admired for his work ethic, if nothing else. Who has to also be admired for his ability to be truly free in that cage. Like, I believe that he's just expressing himself in that cage. Like, he's one of the most free fighters you're going to see. There's also Groovy Lando, who was looking free as
I
fuck
told you
last night.
I told you that's the pay less version of Tony Ferguson. I'm letting you know.
I mean, no. I disagree. Like, Lando is sharper than Tony.
well, yeah, he should.
Like, in this sense,
yeah,
I think if you asked fighters who would they rather be, right? You have to be Tony Ferguson or you have to be Lando Venata.
yeah.
I think you would see a smile and a Lando come out of a lot of people's face. Because he's got a movement about him that is cool looking. Like, it's unique, and he lets combinations go with a confidence, and the kicks fly with a confidence that a lot of motherfuckers ain't throwing him like that. Like, that's an interesting character. Where I think Tony is just like,
You should,
yeah, Tony's Tony.
you should
And
watch.
you're-
You should watch them fight each other because it was a very interesting fight that they had.
I know.
Yeah,
A showdown of the styles,
yeah. They both
of
spelled.
the true styles.
Yeah, it was interesting.
But yeah, like Tony got more money for the folks, and like that's an accomplishment. That's a real accomplishment. Right now, is that going to be sustained? Who
Probably
knows?
Not, probably not.
Probably not. But for one night, he was able to up the pay for some folk, and that has to be respected and remembered. Like, it's tremendous. And for their troubles, for getting that concussive event with a 5-second delay, both Burgos and Barbosa left that place, left Texas with $75,000, $25,000 more apiece than they would have had Tony not said some crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As did Charles Oliveira, the new lightweight champion of the fucking world. Charles Oliveira also picked up $75K bonus because of T. Ferg opening his motherfucking mouth.
Yeah.
And what a wonderful turn of events that is.
With that chin.
If you can't like beat this guy right now, toss some more cash in his pocket when he gets it done against the Bellator chap. Right? Like that's what you could do. What a tip of the hat. What a fucking what a wonderful way the world can work.
Everybody in the venue is gonna
Um
be cheering up, like, woo, woo, we get to eat.
Yo, I know you said you didn't watch the fights yet. You need to watch that fight in its entirety.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen like how crazy it was. Where like, basically Michael Chandler won the first round. Not basically, he did. He won the first round. Like
He did.
he did.
But even before he won the first round, the first second of the fight had drama already. Um, I feel like this might get forgotten by history because it's a more fun story to tell. Like that he almost got submitted and then he was getting ground and pound and then he came back and knocked him out.
Yeah.
The first striking exchange, he throws a fucking calf kick that puts Michael Chandler on his ass. And immediately I think, is this going to be like that Brett Premise fight? And is this their strategy? Are they going to try to low kick this guy and make him have that drop foot shit again so that he can't do very much offensively and they have to stop the fight? Is that a part of the strategy? And before I could think, yes, this is definitely what's happening, Oliveira gets clipped, has a moment where it appears he's panic wrestling because he's shot from kind of far away.
Yeah.
Chandler catches a guillotine, and then the world is like, is this the greatest finisher in submission MMA history? Is this the best submission fighter in UFC history? And we're saying that based on the numbers, the most submissions ever. Is that guy about to get tapped by a person who doesn't even advertise themselves as a jiu-jitsu guy? Is that guy about to get finished in the fight of his life? No! No, he doesn't get finished in the fucking guillotine. He gets out of the guillotine. But then he ends up on his back getting fucking pumped for a while.
Yeah.
Michael Chandler had very, very confident, very, very dominant ground and pound in round one.
Did he knock
And
him
I
down
did not
twice?
like...
Did he knock him down twice?
Knock him down?
Yeah, did Michael Chandler knock down Oliveira twice? Or was it just once?
I don't believe so, but maybe.
Okay.
And it was dicey. It was dicey for Oliveira. But he was able to weather the storm. And then in round two, he puts Michael Chandler away with strikes.
Blah, blah.
Unfucking believable. And Anthony, I've got a bold take on this Charles Oliveira shit.
Yeah, what do you think?
So, I was watching that main event with someone who does not watch the sport of MMA.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as Oliveira was moving around on the screen, she goes, "Is that guy gay?" And I was like, I've heard a lot of people ask that before. Have you?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'm not throwing any shade here. Like, really hear me out.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like, I can't confirm or deny this. I don't know anything about Oliveira's sexuality, and that's not what I'm implying. I think, though, that enough people see an effeminate piece of him that a lot of people can draw confidence from that. That, like, seeing that guy fuck people up is good for a lot of kids who might be questioning things in this world. Like, you don't have to necessarily be gay to be a hero to some gay kids. And I really think that Oliveira fucking people up, like not just like winning fights, but finishing motherfuckers and then kind of prancing around. Like the first time I saw him, you know who he reminded me of?
Who?
Prince.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's who I thought of. I thought of this like effeminate genius who probably loves chicks.
Yeah, he has a hot girlfriend.
He does have a hot girlfriend?
Hot girlfriend / wife. Yeah, wife.
Confirmed. All right, but Prince had girlfriends too.
Yeah.
But there are a lot. It's the exact same thing. There are a lot of people who grew up queer looking up at Prince and his ashless chaps and his pink shit and like covering up his nipples and shit and being like, that's something that like makes me feel better about who I am. And seeing an effeminate man do something, and effeminate is not like a fucking insult.
Right.
It's just there's a softness about the way he carries himself and moves sometimes. And I think that that's good for people to see who are young and questioning. And I think he can be like an accidental gay icon. And I think that's great. I think there's a lot of kids who need to see someone who reminds them of a piece of themselves, piecing people the fuck up.
Giving them the hands and the kicks.
I mean, fuck, what a fight, and what an accomplishment. Like, I've been saying that Charles Oliveira deserved a shot at this title for a long time, and I'm not the only person that thought this way. And it just didn't happen. Like, somebody else is a bigger star. You know? Yeah. Khabib's a giant star. Connor's a giant star.
Wow.
Poirier became somewhat of a star himself.
Yep.
You could argue that Nate Diaz is around that division too. Like, there are people that are big celebrities at 155, and Oliveira is a guy who is just winning.
Yep.
And doing it often in spectacular fashion, but he just didn't have that same star power. But now he has that fucking belt. And I'm a happy guy for it. Like, it made me happy to see him win. I was thinking that Chandler was going to pull it off. And that didn't sit well with me. I didn't like that. I wanted Charles Oliveira to win. Yeah, I thought that maybe he could like hop in and hurt Oliveira. Basically, I thought the way the first round went was how the fight was going to go.
Yeah.
Minus Oliveira shooting in and being in a guillotine. I thought that's how the fight was going to go. I didn't think that Chandler would engage as much as he did on the ground, but I thought that he would do a mixture of striking and ground and pound to control Oliveira and demonstrate 10-9, 10-9 style that he was the better fighter.
Yeah.
That's what I thought he was going to try to do. And the first round was evidence that that was part of the plan. And I'm so glad I was wrong. I'm so glad I was wrong. So shout out to the new king of the 55ers.
Right, the new king, now the uncrowned king, Islam Makhachev, is coming. I used to be a Russian hater. I used to be, anti these Dagestani boys. But now I'm like, maybe it's true. Maybe these dudes just can wrestle better than everybody else. Or maybe the fear of them, makes them the better wrestlers. But I
see Makhachev versus Oliveira. I see Oliveira winning that.
I see Islam saying, hey, that's super cool. You like to like roll around the ground. Guess what I do? I make people give up. He's like, I make people.
But people are not as good as Oliveira.
Maybe. We'll see. I'm telling you.
He binds them up. So, like, here's the thing. Yeah. I think the way to beat jiu-jitsu guys like that, like guys as good as Oliveira, is to kind of do what Chandler was doing, which is like kind of smother the hips and throw the fucking hands.
Yeah.
Right? Makhachev is going to try to wrap him up in a pretzel before he tries to punch him. And I don't think he's going to be able to do that. So I don't think he's going to ever be comfortable to throw his hands on the floor. I think he's going to be scrambling to get to the controlling positions that he tries to get to and fail. And Oliveira's going to catch him in something or get back to his feet and knock him out. That's what I think happens.
I think that the same thing that happens to everybody else. They look down that aisle and they look out there and they see the ocean. They see miles and miles of water. They're looking for that coconut. They're looking for the guy that got caught by them Somalian pirates. There's nobody around. It's just them and them fuzzy hats just floating in the water, just looking at them like they're food. And he's gonna be like, "Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, I'm from Brazil. I do these. I swim. I surf. What's up, bro?" And they're like, "Yeah, super cool, bro. It's cold down here. This shit sucks. Life's hard. Yeah, it's super cool. You feed your village. Your village is warm. I want warm place to live. This is now mine. Everything is mine." Like, that dude is terrifying. He's like, like his last fight was literally like, I wanted to, work on my hands, but then I was like, I'll just take him down instead. Like, that's how a guy thinks. It's like, oh, this shit's easy.
Look, but Charles Oliveira is not an easy guy to control like that.
Yeah, we thought the same thing about Rafael dos Anjos. Then all of a sudden, this dude just got hip tossed like some baby.
I didn't think that.
Everybody was like, "Oh, this dude's tough. Ain't nobody gonna do anything like that." Look the way
RDA is tough,
he was.
but he's in no way. Hold the fuck. He's in no way the finisher that Oliveira is. He's in no way the grappler that Oliveira is. In no way.
All right, I'll give you that. It's true, but I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you know.
All right, so you think Makachev is not only next,
No, it's not
or
next.
do you not
No,
think
no,
he's
he's not
next?
next. No. He's gonna be sitting. He's gonna be sitting in like he'd be last at gym class. Like he's gonna be sitting down there for a while. Everybody's
You
gonna
think
be,
he's the new Oliveira?
I think he's the new Ryan Hall. Yeah, like nobody's gonna be calling him out. He's gonna be sitting out there for months. Then like when somebody fucks up in the top 10, they're gonna be like, oh man, like your last fight, who you got? Oh, you got this dude. Can I get anybody else? Like no, that's all you get, or you're fired. And that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna see one of those 5 guys. Either you're gonna see they're not gonna do Connor like that. They won't do Connor dirty like that. Or maybe they might just to make the last bit of money off him. The revenge. He's taking on his old Khabib's teammate.
So it's essentially like there's an Eddie Izzard joke. Eddie Izzard is a comic. I believe that she's transitioned to one to be called she. I'm not even sure. But Eddie, who's incredible, has a joke about like, what if I had to offer you like cake or death? It's like, I'll choose cake, please. It's like, very well, give them cake. All right, you, cake or death? It's like, I'll fucking take cake too.
Yeah.
It's like, very well, give them cake. You, you in the corner, cake or death? It's like cake. It's like, well, we're all out of cake.
Yeah.
It's like we only had 2 bits, and we didn't expect such a rush. And it's like a much darker way to say that would be like Islam or death. And by Islam, I mean Islam Makachev.
Not the religion.
Not the religion. Islam or death. But that's essentially what they're doing.
Yeah.
If they say, like, look, you are at the end of your contract, and you can either fight Islam Makachev or we're going to fire you.
Pretty much. That's what's going to happen.
Islam or death.
Like, that's all I'm saying is, like, that's super cool, Dustin. Super cool, Connor. Super cool, Michael Chandler. All those guys, super cool. Whoever. I don't even know who's in that division anymore. Doesn't matter. It's like it's over. Like, this dude's going to grab you, and he's going to run the town. Is whatever.
Stop. I don't think it's that simple. You really think he's just gonna walk through everyone?
Dude,
yeah?
the way he literally he picked up a dude. He picked up a dude that looked like Superman and just threw him on his head. It's like Drew Doberman looks like some dude in a porn star who's like a Superman. Like it's like the fake Superman. He's just all American. And he's just there and he just picked that goofy looking dude up and just slammed him on his head and said like this is my time to shine. And you just looked at that dude. That dude looked like he got like it's exactly how like Michael Chandler looked when he got knocked out. Like you look at Michael Chandler before, he looks like a handsome guy. When he gets knocked out, he looks like the sloth. It's very weird. Like when people get knocked out, they look really ugly. But when they're all fat and ugly, it's like it's weird. But like when they're like not knocked out, they look cool.
Oh my god.
But yeah.
It's not that I'm not high on Islam Makhachev. I think that you're higher on him than I am.
I just gave up because I'm like, what are you gonna tell me to do? Like this, he has the guy who's the best guy in the world. Just tell him what to do. Hey man, I've been here before. You know these guys kick you leg. Don't think about it. Just pick them up, grab them by their leg, put them down, punch, punch, punch. Oh, jump to triangle, jump to cool armbar, and then right out. He's gonna write a game plan for the 155 for the rest of their life. All his cousins, sisters, whoever's gonna show up and just start winning that division.
So you think as long as you know Khabib, if you hang out at Khabib's house, have you ever been to Khabib Nurmagomedov's house? Oh, you have? Oh, cool. Then you're in the running to be world champion. Oh, you haven't? Oh, it's a wrap for you. You should just fucking go home.
Yeah, it's like that. Like just don't take too many punches. Use your shoulders to block the shots. Take people down. Do all your wrist snap downs and whatever else you guys do over there that are like impossible to hit in real life. You guys hit like I showed you that video, that wrist snap down that dude hit. I think that was Islam.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I think that was Islam who hit that. He hit that wrist.
It was.
Yeah, he hit that like.
Is that wrist snap down throw by
Yeah,
that nobody can do in real life
nobody does it
except for
real.
him?
Yeah,
And then some high school kid did it, and they showed that all over the internet too.
Yeah.
Speaking of high school kids, Anthony,
Darren,
are you aware of Mason Gibson?
the name sounds familiar.
Dude, in my Instagram, I saw Mason Gibson do some of the wildest shit I've ever seen in real life. And I commented on it, which I don't normally do. Like, if you're less than 18, I don't tend to comment on your shit because I think it can get weird.
Woo.
But
oh my God, he's just
but
like
this young man. What's up? Did you see my comment?
I don't know if this is the one. I did see WWE Sheamus.
Yeah, so Sheamus.
But
Sheamus is a WWE wrestler who does the exact same move, except for it's fake.
Yeah.
And this dude did it in real motherfucking life to a kid who probably fucks up other kids. Like, he didn't do it to a kid who's like some tomato can. Because when you're Mason Gibson, you don't wrestle fucking tomato cans. And even if you did, you would only wrestle them in the wintertime when it was school time.
Right.
And during school, you might be the best wrestler in the world, but the kid who you face it's his second week wrestling. Like, that could happen. That's somebody's shitty luck in high school and middle school wrestling, for that matter. You could just find a kid who happens to be world champion, and he lives in your hometown, and you've got to face him in your second wrestling match ever. Like, that could be your fucked up luck.
It's weird. Like, he looks like old school strong. Like,
bro,
like, does he look like
he's a fucking monster? So for the audio listeners, this kid puts this boy over his shoulders like a fireman's carry, right? And he stands up and then does a forward flip and then rolls back up to his feet, stands again with the kid still on his shoulders, and does it again. Does it again. He performs 2 front flips to piece out a kid in a wrestling match. And so I send him a fucking comment, and I say, WWE Sheamus? And he goes, the Celtic Warrior. And I was like, he knows he did Sheamus's move. Like, he's so good that he was like, you know what I'm about to do?
Like, the way he just gets under that kid.
I'm going to go fucking viral. I'm going to do Sheamus's fucking roll, which I don't even remember what it's called. I'm going to do Sheamus's fucking move, and I'm going to do it twice and piece this kid out right now. Like, he's aware of Sheamus, and he did it. That's what's so interesting to me. That's what's so funny. I was like, is anybody else going to notice that this is a fucking pro wrestling move that, like, is popular right now?
That's so crazy.
Mason Gibson. Crazy talent. I saw that kid win against like a high school senior when he was an 8th grader. And I was like, that's nuts. Like, that kind of shit it wasn't really happening when I was a kid, but it was starting to happen.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you were starting to see these phenoms because like a lot of the young kids were starting early and getting crazy levels of coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So you were starting to see kids win 4 state titles. They were good when they were 14. And then in some states, the 8th graders compete as high schoolers. So in some states, you were seeing 5-time state champions and shit.
That's so crazy. Like, that's so nuts.
Well, here's what's crazier. If you won a national title in NCAA Division I this year,
you get 5 times. You have 5 chances to do it.
You have a chance to do it 4 more times. You have 5 years of eligibility because of COVID. So there might be 5-time national champions in the NCAA level. Like AJ Ferrari might be a 5-timer.
You should also just stop and go do porn.
Well, AJ is of age. If that's what he chooses to do.
His name's AJ Ferrari. Yeah, it's like, all right, man. What are you supposed to do in life? You can't be a science teacher.
Why?
Mr. Ferrari. Come on, Mr. Ferrari. Let's talk about gravity. No. You can't do that.
His name is legitimately AJ Ferrari.
AJ Ferrari. It's like Johnny Rockstar. All right, cool, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's like naming your kid Johnny Rockstar.
It's just like whatever, man.
To the moon, they're gonna send that kid. That kid's gonna get all the money. Like he's either gonna be like a WWE guy, or like you could put him in action movies. Even if you put that guy in like low budget action movies, as long as he booked himself a lot, he can make a shitload of money just looking the way he looks.
So crazy.
AJ Ferrari rules. So, Anthony,
Yes.
there's one piece that I would like to submit for weird news.
Okay.
We discussed it, but I'd like to share it with the audience if we could. And there's a video it seems like it was trying to mock face-offs, but these little kids got into a shoot, really. Like these.
Well, so like it's weird because like one, let's see if I can get back to it. What was it under again?
I saw it on Pulp MMA's Instagram, and it appears to be somewhere in Russia, where so many awesome videos are made. And these two little whippersnappers are interacting. They get nose to nose. They get into the forehead push. One kid's doing the Masvidal with his hands behind his back. The other kid goes heavy right hand collar tie.
Come on.
But the kid isn't having that shit. The arm behind the back, the Masvidal kid, he's not having that shit. So he clears it off, and they start arguing a little bit. And then one kid starts to try to demonstrate some of his moves. He's like, motherfucker, I'll throw this kick at you.
I like that they even have the mics. They have like they're even like mic'd up. They have like the little gloves. I think what's funnier though is that the kid in blue is actually taking this for real. The kid in white knows it's a joke.
The kid in blue is ready. He's ready to really scrap. That collar tie was real.
Yeah.
Like he's grabbed a kid up before. You know what I'm saying? And like the other thing, he's legitimately like, he's like an angry old man. He's like, bring it. Yeah. Let's do this shit.
Let's go. What's up? What you want? Come on, step up. Let's go.
They both do the hands behind the back gimmick, and then the collar tie. The face that he makes when that kid clears the collar tie.
Excuse me?
It's the best shit ever. Like, I can watch this all day. I can watch them do this all fucking day. And I'm not thrown off by the fact that the other kid smiles. I don't think that means that he wasn't serious. Sometimes that smile is just nervousness.
Yeah. Yeah, because they went that hard in the character development in this thing with these kids.
I mean, look at that clear of the collar tie is like so aggressive. He's like, get the fuck off of me.
They're of Khabib's people looking, so like of course.
But yeah, when he tries to throw the kick and then realizes he's on slippery ground, he has to regain his balance. He comes right back with a right hand, and then he bounces in his stance for a second. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? This video is gold. So shoot Pulp MMA a follow if you get a chance. I recently followed them, and I'm glad that I did. Anthony, do you have any other weird news for us?
No.
Fair enough. Episode 313 is now in the books. It's been a pleasure. Anthony, I must bid you adieu. This will be goodbye for real. Internet, I fucking love you. I know Anthony loves you too.
I do. I do.
And we'll be back at you motherfuckers next week with episode 314. Until then, goodbye, Internet. XOXO. Anthony.